Welcome, everyone, to the Umana Yana podcast. I'm your host, Josh Dreypal, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Roset. Now, I met Roset earlier this year, being out here in Costa Rica, and really looking for that opportunity to do things differently. As some of you might know, we've been traveling for well over a year, really looking for that place to next call home and to really elevate our offering from healing and color. And Creativo has been one of those spaces that's felt incredibly aligned and has given us this opportunity to have some camps that we're running in retreat from December into January. And Roset, the owner of Creativo, has been grateful enough to actually allow us to use this space and invite us in to deliver these programs. So, Roset, thank you so much. I turn it over to you to introduce yourself to our audience.
I'm a mom and creator. I'm an educator. And I would say that I'm a community builder that believes deeply in creating space that brings people together through creativity.
Yeah, I feel that. And I mean, this space, in the short time that I've known you, I've seen so many different things happen in this space, not only for kids, but for adults. I saw that you had a really fun art exhibit that happened recently, and that looked like it was the spot to be in town. So I think like your vision of having this be a place where people really want to gather and have it be a hub for creativity and fun and memory, I think it's really coming through. I've already had so many memories being here, in the short time I've been here. So I can only imagine how you've been in service to the community. So thank you so much for how you show up out here.
Thank you.
And I know what kind of drew us to Costa Rica. It was really the energy of the space. It really felt different, and it felt like this place where a lot of people who had maybe lived a very familiar way that many of us are used to living, they kind of came because like we need something different. We really want to explore what life can be outside of what we envisioned it so far. So I'm curious, what drew you to Costa Rica and coming out here to do what you're doing here?
Well, I guess Costa Rica is exactly what my soul was craving. Just be close to nature, slow down. Just wanted my kids to grow up in a place that they will have a space to explore, be very close to the nature, and I really believe in this kind of culture.
Like the pace and the flow that they live at, right?
So I wanted my kids and my family to be in a place that is more about relaxing and close to the nature, pursue always that be the first one and achieve always things. And so I think that it's amazing for kids to grow up in a place like that everything is calm, it's much calmer here, and the nature all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, that this kind of childhood is what I imagined for my kids.
And did you have some of this in, like, was this part of your childhood? So it was like, I want to make sure my kids have it? Or was it something that wasn't part of your childhood? So you wanted to really make sure that you did give it to?
Yeah, not at all. So yeah, I grew up in the city. So very like, far from that, from nature. For me, nature was when we travel.
Right.
So yeah, that was very fun from my childhood.
Okay, I got you. And that's a big part for us as well. Like, we lived in the city, right? But we still had some green spaces around and things like that. And I was kind of laughing the other day because I was thinking how often we've gone down to the beach here, right? Like it's just kind of down like 10 minutes from where we live right now. And I thought back to, when we were living in Toronto, once or twice a year in the summertime is when the family would be able to get to the beach. And it was a big thing. Like we had to plan it for weeks. We had to check with everyone's schedule. It became less for a Vida and like, very much like a trip, as if you're going out of town. Right. And so for us too, it was like we really want to have that flow, that organic feel, like all of some friends be like, hey, want to go to the beach? Let's go to the beach today. And it not be that complicated. So we really appreciate that too. And to see the kids and the families who are on the beach now, right? Just, in the morning or in the afternoon, just in the middle of their day. can see the amount of like peace and what that's done for that whole ecosystem. You know, every member of that family benefits from having access to nature. So I truly have felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you noticed a difference in your kids as they, spent more time living this way? Like, how do you imagine they would have lived like in the city compared to how they are here?
Well, my older son would love being in the city because he likes this. Like he likes like, to have everything around him and everything is accessible. But I think that he still appreciates like living here. You know, my boys goes barefoot all the time.
Yeah.
They wear shoes only to school.
Okay.
They just enjoy doing sometimes even nothing, they enjoy doing nothing. I can compare them to other kids in other places that they are always like in front of screens and they always have things to do and the schedule is so tight and so it's so much pressure and we don't feel it here with our kids. It's very, very easygoing and I can feel with my kids that their well-being different, like they're emotionally stable. It's a different way that how I grew up. Like I grew up in a more like pressure environment.
Perfect. And something that I've noticed for myself, I'm not a parent yet, right? But I've noticed that more than ever in my life, I've been able to be physically present and mentally present in the same place. Right? So, for example, having this conversation with you now, if this was the Josh who lived in the city, I might be sitting here and we might be having this conversation, but I'll be thinking about the 10 things that I need to do afterwards, all the responsibilities I have, everyone I need to call back, all of that kind of stuff. But I noticed there's something about the energy of here that allows me to just truly enjoy where I am. And I've seen, parents communicate that that's made such a difference for them in the amount of happiness they have for their own life and then what they're able to do for their kids. So, like, have you found that for yourself too?
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, I actually talked about it just a few days ago. We have their improv classes, and I just told the teacher that the most amazing thing that I can take from those classes is feeling present when someone is talking with me. So yeah, it's also the environment, it's where we live and everything, like you said. And it's also part of those classes that we do because it's actually teaching you to be present and not to think about 100 things and not to think, okay, what I will respond to you. I just listen to you and then my response will come naturally. So yeah, I feel it here and I feel way more relaxed here. I'm coming from a place that it's not very calm there. Everything is fast. Everything is happening fast all the time, and it's a huge difference here.
So was it like an adjustment you had to make to even feel okay to go at a slower pace than you were used to living at?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the beginning, sometimes it's weird, and sometimes it can be even annoying at the beginning. Like everything is like you schedule some things and they show up like 2 hours after, and you're like, what? But then you realize that okay, that's okay. Like wow, I wish I could be like them. Taking the time and everything's okay. Nothing fall apart. So it's actually very nice when you start to get used to it. You start to enjoy yourself. The poor Vida.
Yeah. So I mean, for people who might have a hard time feeling comfortable going at a slower pace than we used to, like what have you found has helped you to get comfortable with that? Is it just time, or have you done certain things? Have you had certain conversations with people that really was like, oh, okay, it is okay for me to move slower? Because I think this is a big part of the unlearning that a lot of us have to do. And I think one of the things that'll most surprise people when they come out to visit or perhaps live in Costa Rica.
Yeah, when visiting is completely different. When you live here, you want things to get done. And especially when you are a business owner, you expect things to get done on time. And yeah, that can be frustrating in the beginning. Doesn't happen the way that you want to. But when you realize that that's the culture here, and they are not pursuing anything. They are not chasing. They just being. They just live in the moment. And well, if there is a good sunset now, it's a very nice sunset, and you schedule in someone, it is way more important than that. So
I love that.
if the wave is good, like there are good waves now, of course it's more important than other things. So you come to realize that that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the way they live. That's the culture, and you start to enjoy it yourself. Actually.
Yeah. I love that you said that because I found myself struggling with that still a little bit, right? It's like, okay, we say that we're going to start at this time, but then, like the Costa Rica pace, okay, 15 minutes after. And then, coming from a fast paced corporate environment, right? I'm used to people being upset if you're 10 seconds late, right? Or my schedule being so tight that if you are a minute late, that actually does throw off everything I needed to fit into this 30-minute meeting. So I found that that's been a big thing. I almost have to step away for a sec sometimes. Be like, hey, Josh, take a breath. You're in a different place than you used to be. Maybe those things aren't as important, And something that was shared with me about doing business in Costa Rica is they said that you need to prioritize people, land over spreadsheet. But to me, that was one of the biggest green flags to let me know I'm in the right place.
Oh.
Because even when I was told to prioritize the spreadsheet over everything else, I found myself doing the other.
Oh.
And it's like, we'll get to the spreadsheet, but we need to make sure the people and the land and the other things are taken care of. Those are more important. So I feel like this allows to fully get in there, not have to have one foot in, one foot out, and to actually unlearn some of those things because we don't need all of that pressure in the same way that maybe we thought we did from before.
Yes, and also I came to realize that running a business here, you see that sometimes things doesn't go the way you plan, but they always work out.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. I hear that. And I think that that's a big element that you almost get to build just by being out here, right? Like if you come in and you're already at that place of surrender where you can just kind of flow with things, then do it naturally, right? But for some people, I know it's a harsh reality check of like, you can have your schedule if you want, but let's just sit back and see how your day actually goes, right? And I think that once you can actually be okay with that, then you actually get to be present and you can have that joy and not everything is that big of a deal, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I'm curious, is Creativo, is this your first entrepreneurial venture?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long has Creativo been in existence and how did it come to be? I'm curious about that.
Okay, so I opened Creativo a year and a half ago, but I started this to build it. I'd say almost 3 years ago. It came from a vision that I had. So I was sitting at the beach in Panama, actually, the vacation, and then I had a vision that I saw Creativo. I saw into the detail. Like I saw everything about it. I just looked from above and I saw everything, how it should look like. And I saw people comes and goes and connect and have fun and laugh and create. And I took a notebook and I started to sketch everything that I saw and to write down like, all the ideas and everything that I saw happening there. And that's how it started. So it actually came from a need. When I lived here for a few years, and I saw that I noticed that here we don't have in this space a place for kids, for teens, and even for adults, like a creative home, a place that people can feel free to express themselves, be creative, connect,
Right.
to get a community together, to connect in a creative way. And that's where it came from.
Yeah. Okay. So had you had previous spaces like for yourself, as an adult to go and have fun and create and express yourself, and now it was coming here and it's like, oh, that doesn't exist, or was it something you observed just as you yourself was moving through life and generally, no matter where I happen to be, there aren't usually these spaces where people come together. How did
So I'm a very creative person. I like to create. I like to do things with my hands, different materials, different things. And I used to live in different places and to change places every few years. And every place that I used to go, I didn't find a place like that, but I used to go to different workshops, different art and craft workshops. And I used to like it. That gives me, it was my happy place to do different things. And then I created my own studio just for myself, an art studio, and I started to create and everything. And then we moved to Costa Rica. And when I moved here, I realized that I don't have um, um, places to do different workshops, not for me and not for my kids. So that's when I realized, okay, we need to do something about it because I was looking for places for adults, just different classes, different art or craft classes for me. And I also was looking for my kids, and for my kids I also find just like other things like more like a physical, like sport, like surfing or football. But I really wanted them to do more than that, like art and music and so yeah, that's where it came from. Like for kids, I couldn't find it for adults, and said, okay, this is something that we need here. Yeah. Because I also saw so many people. I met so many people that are so talented here, that lives here. For sure. So talented, and they don't have a place to be creative, to show their talent, or to be creative themselves, or teach other people. So I said, okay, I need like a platform to give a chance to everyone. So the ability, first of all, to express themselves and also to come here to learn. So to teach and to learn. So this is a space for everyone. Yeah.
And I mean, it truly feels like an art and cultural center. Like that's what it truly feels like to me, with all the different things that actually can happen here, right? And it's like, you can learn for the personal development. You can come just to have some fun and try something new. Meet the other people in the community. Be inspired by the different art. Like we're sitting in this art like all around the room already, right? So it is one of those spaces. I definitely do feel a calmness and this almost a calling for the creativity to come out. It's a great invitation. The space and how you design it, from the color to the ceiling. I know our viewers might not be able to see the ceiling right now, but the ceiling in itself is inspirational and motivational, and it's a piece of art in itself. So I see the level of attention and detail you put into everything. And I think what you shared about how just recognizing from the landscape what's here, what's not, and the opportunity in that. I think that's a big thing about Costa Rica. And I think that after you spend a little bit of time here, beyond vacation, more than say a week or two, you get to really see, oh, this need is here, and I think that it's so nice because it's not overly saturated like a big city that we may come from. So you almost feel inspired to bring that thing to life. And it sounds like that's what happened for you. Like you saw the opportunity to do that and whatnot. So I'm curious, from an entrepreneurial perspective, what have you learned so far in having your business out here in Costa Rica and running it and interacting with the local community and the people who come through the doors? Because I know I've seen the reviews, I've heard the wonderful stories about how long people book the classes that you have and things like that. So I'd love to hear from you about that part of the journey so far.
Okay, yeah, it's been a journey. um, yeah, it's a long journey. I do everything with lots of love. So I'm just enjoying this journey because even when it's hard, like you need to get to know the culture here, and it's so different from what I know. So you need to do a lot of adjustment um, to the needs here. And sometimes it's so different. It's so different, but as long as you are okay with this and you accept it, and you do the adjustment, um, things are working out the best. So I'm just enjoying every time that people come in and they feel confident to really express themselves here, and they feel that this space is doing something good for them, and I can see it from them, and they share also with me. It fills my heart.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things when people tell me, wow, thank you for creating this space. It's amazing. I enjoy so much, or my kids enjoy it so much. It fills my heart, and they know that I'm doing something good, even when sometimes it can be hard.
But, what do you think would surprise entrepreneurs who might come from other parts of the world and consider, oh, maybe I'll start something in Costa Rica? What do you think would really surprise them? Good or bad? Maybe about how hard something is, maybe how easy it could be, anything like that. What have you noticed? What do you think would surprise them?
So I think that there are plenty of opportunities here to start business. You just need to be present and to feel what are the needs here. So there are plenty of different opportunities here. That's the easy part. I would say that the difficult part about it is that you need to be adjustable all the time. Materials doesn't come on time, and weather shifts all the time. Like you plan something and then it's rainy when it's not supposed to rain. And the things always change. Plans doesn't go the way that you planned, and that can be like a big surprise at the beginning when you are not used to it. But like I said, when you are an adjustable person, you can go with the flow, and then everything will turn out okay eventually. You just need to be patient about it and just realize that that's how it is here. It's so different from any place else that I've been.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to know. And I think it's super important, like for our audience, to hear from people who have actually not just visited, but actually done the heavy lifting of starting a business and operating that business, right? For them to understand what it's really like, right? It's not just a snapshot. You're actually being open about how this path goes, right? And you have to be not unlike entrepreneurs in other areas of the world, but you have to be able to adapt quickly and gracefully, right? I laughed about that myself too. I was saying that when we came out here, I had this plan and I had like these 5 points, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'll do when I'm here. But I start to realize it's not really that linear. It's like you're in a relationship with the land and the people and the culture. So you have to almost invite that to show you, what do you want from me, right? What will you accept from me, right? Because I'm coming in, even the way I got to my list was with the programming of the place I came from. So I can't even just take that and put it here and think that's going to work, right? So I've definitely seen that as something. I'm curious, what has been your favorite workshop or offering or experience that's happened at Creativo so far?
Oh wow, that's a hard question because I like a lot of things here. I guess if it's around kids, I love the camp. We're doing art and music camp here, and the camps are so good and so different from any other camps. Not just in the area, because I used to have camps also in other countries, and it's nothing the same. It's a different level, and it's so good to see the kids having so much fun. They want to keep coming here. Sometimes they even hide when the parents come to pick them up.
Oh,
Because they didn't want to leave.
yeah.
And I just enjoy seeing it. And I'm enjoying also bringing a different level here. So for the kids, that I would say that that's what I enjoy the most. And for adults, it's different. So for adults, I like so many things.
And you attend some of them too, right?
Up there.
Yeah.
Tip and paint nights. And so sometimes I also attend those. Very nice. And also the improv classes. I just did recently the gallery evening. I loved it. Yeah, the gallery evening, when I just looked around me, I just felt, wow, that's why I'm doing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
And for our audience, could you just share with them a little bit about what that gallery evening was all about, just in case they haven't seen footage of that or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So we did a gallery evening where we wanted to showcasing and selling um, um, the creation of local artists. So we actually wanted to give a space for local artists. We wanted to support them, to sell their art. And the whole evening was about supporting the local community by supporting the artists, and also some of the income of the selling was for sponsoring local kids to come and participate in our camps. So yeah, so it was all the evening was about supporting the local community.
Wonderful. And I hear a lot about that, especially out here in Costa Rica. It's on very top of mind for I find especially the people who are the most successful. They make sure that part of what they're doing is giving back and making a way for the locals to actually have what it is they create. And where did that come from for you? Was that just sort of naturally you knew you wanted to make sure there was access to locals, or was that through a bit of a learning curve of what is expected of business owners out here?
So it's something that I knew that I want from the beginning, from the start. At the beginning, it was hard because I just started everything, but I found my way how to support and how to give back from the beginning. If it's from charity events that we did, some fundraising event that all the money that we raise, we support kids in needs here, and those kind of things that we do sometimes, like the gallery event that we try to collect funds to give the opportunity for kids that cannot afford being here to be part of it, because I think it's so important. So important for everyone, to give the opportunity for everyone to enjoy something like that, to enjoy different classes that we give here, or camps, or things like that. So we try to support as much as we can. Yeah, and we are planning to do more about it also.
Thanks, wonderful. And thank you for the impact you have on the community. I feel the heart within all the different initiatives that you do put out here, and you and the team. And I think it's really, really special. And I think that the community connects and really resonates and keeps returning and telling people about your space because you do that. And you're not doing it from the perspective of I need to be rewarded or I want to be seen for giving back. You just know that this is just part of the humanity of being. And I think that really speaks volumes. And I would love to hear from you, from your perspective, right? You mentioned that things are done in a different and a bit elevated way and whatnot, whether that's the kids programs or the adult programs, right? I'm just curious to know so that the people who are watching us now, they get a little bit of insight into what do you mean when you say that it's different? Like, what is the creativo difference? Is it about the energy you bring into the creation of these events? Is it like what do you find is different that sets it apart from what people might expect to find?
Okay, so it's in different aspects. First of all, the space that we created here. So the space is different from other spaces that you can find here. We have a space that you feel very invited and like family oriented, and we try to do everything with the big welcoming. So the space is very warm and very nice being here, and you feel very creative just being here. We have a big space here, a separated spaces. We have a huge playground, and we have the art studio here, and we have private rooms for different one-on-one sessions and therapies. So it's a space, but more than that, it's also the quality of the teachers that we bring here. So it's very important for us to bring a very good, high quality educators here. So even the camps that are for little ones, for kids, we look for those teachers that we feel very we feel good and safe with them, and we know that they are like the quality ones. Like we don't hire anyone here, and you can see that. You can see in everything, like the way that they approach the kids, what they teach them, the programs. We invest a lot before every camp on building the schedule and the whole program. So it's something that takes us a long time, and we have meetings with all the teachers way before, and we build together with them the all the classes that they're going to give here. The kids have here the option to choose what they want to do, because we provide a few different activities at the same time, and we tell them what's the activities, and they can choose. They can choose either to be in the playground with a parkour teacher and doing activities there, or they can come here inside the aircon studio and doing some cooking or baking, doing different things like sushi making, pizza making. Yeah, so different things. Experiments, like we're doing like science experiments, and we're doing lots of art with art teachers, craft. Sometimes we go to the beach, to the low tide pools, and we do beach cleaning. And from the things that we picked up from the beach, we come here and we create something. So, so we teach also the kids important values. I can tell you that the kids that goes there to do the beach cleaning, they know already. Instead of teaching them, oh, you're not allowed to throw this because this is plastic. Instead of telling them, they just do. They clean the beach, and then believe me, those kids that clean the beach, they will never throw something that doesn't belong to the beach, because they know. Like my kids, they tell me, "Oh, we saw plastic now. We need something to pick up the plastic," because they know, because they clean the beach all the time. And also they learn about recycling. So we take something that's not supposed to be there. It's a it's garbage in the beach, but then you come to the studio and you create something from that. And then they use a lot of imagination. So it's creativity and imagination, and they learn so many different skills, so many different things. And every camp looks different, because in every camp we have different teachers that teach different things. We have the DJ classes, voice development classes, choreography. So very different. Like every camp doesn't look like the other one. Yeah. Always try to do something new and to invent ourselves again and again.
Yeah. No, I love that. And, from and seeing how you do operate, right? Having the opportunity to, be part of the camps that are, or the retreat that are going to be going on in December. I've got to see what it's like to work with you and your team, right? I see the level of intention that you move through that whole process, right? There's no desperation. We're here because we're trying to understand who's the right fit. Right? And I think that, to me, really stood out as a very big differentiator, right? I trust that, when I have kids and whatnot, and I bring them here, they're not just being dropped off and picked up. They're learning. They're experiencing things. They're around people who are really trying to make sure that they get the most out of their time in a space. And, for as much as they're learning formal skills, right? Like, a beach cleanup and whatnot, they're also really connecting with the mindfulness around them just being a human being who contributes to how things go on Earth, right? And understanding I play a part in it, right? It's being an active part of it. So I love the level of detail that you do put in, and the space definitely does feel I can certainly say that. Having been all over the world myself too, understanding how things are done, say in Canada as well, I can say that this is so, I think you're really so, I want to just shift gears a little bit to highlight, what you do have going on, coming up, right? Especially the teen retreats that are starting in December. So I'd love to hear from you. Where did the idea of having some offerings for teens come from? And, what are you looking forward to seeing, in these 4 weeks worth of programs?
Okay, so I can tell you that we offer a lot of things here for kids and for adults, and teens sometimes they fall in between, because they are like too young to be with the adults, but they are too old to be with the kids program. And I felt the need for teens to do something meaningful and something that they really want to be part of it. There are many teens here, and when they have vacations, they get lost. They don't know what to do, and that's when we start to think, okay, we need to focus now on things. We need to do more things for them, but meaningful things that they can actually get added value, things that they can, like they can get like a real life skill, okay, and not things that the parents need to push them into it. Okay, you need to be there. No, things that the teens will want to do it, and they will want to come, and they will want to come again, and they will want to be part of it, and they will want to learn those kind of things. So that's where it comes from, and I'm so happy about this program because I really think this program and think that this is something that was missing. It was something that a lot of parents were looking for, and it was missing. So I'm happy to be part of it, and to have the chance to host this wonderful program here.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. And, I'm really grateful and honored that you've invited us and said, like, we feel like you guys are the right ones to support in these teen retreats. And, I think it really filled in your philosophy of doing something different, right? Even what we call it, right? It's a retreat. It's not a camp,
Yes.
right? Like there's power in these words and it really communicates the intention behind it. So for you, why has it been important to differentiate this as like a teen kind of retreat versus just a teen camp or a teen drop-in? Why has that been important to you?
First, I don't feel that it's a camp. It's different. It's not a camp. It's not a school. It's not a camp. That's a retreat. I feel that the words are very, very powerful here. A camp, it's not something that teens will want to be a part of because it sounds something that's for kids, And what we give here, what you're going to give here in the retreat, it's completely different than what we do in camp. Okay, you give, like I said, you give real values and skills, like life skills, and well, that's not a camp. That's definitely something different.
Okay. And I mean, I would love to chat with you about, what you're hoping that teens and parents really connect with in when they're looking at, say, the ads that we put up around the different retreats and things like that. Like I know the first one that we have coming up is the Big Money Moves teen retreat, right? So, for me, I was thinking about, okay, if we all understand math a little bit better, especially the math when it comes to our money, right? Our money opens a lot of different doors for us, right? So a lot of us have maybe disconnected from how does the math work? How do I understand these numbers? Because, we might not use cash as much anymore. It might be, oh, just tap my wallet, right? So we lose that connection to it. We don't have to count out the money. We don't have to feel, oh, I worked 5 hours for this money that's in my wallet. Now I'm going to give it to you, right? Like I found it's very important for us to circle back to these experiences where we actually remember the connection we have to these things and the power that they hold. So what do you think? If you think back to when you were a teen, that you were attending the Big Money Moves teen retreat, what do you think you'd be getting out of it?
Oh, I just love the idea. I think that this is missing. Like those kind of things they need to teach us at schools. No one teaches us those things. We had to learn it with time and with experience and to do mistakes on the way. And I wish someone could teach me all of this when I was a teen. This is a great thing for kids to learn the value of money and how to handle money and how to make a lot of things. It's not just how to make money because teens are very into making money. It's how to handle it right also. This is a big, big lesson, how to handle money right. Okay, so this is I think that this is great and that we have the chance and the opportunity to teach those things, something that they will actually use in a very short time, they will start using those things, those skills. Unfortunately, I didn't have it when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, it took me a while to understand those kind of things. It took me a while, but also those days, everything is different, like you said. So yeah, before we didn't need to learn much, like about maybe bank account, what it means to save money, and save money, how to handle money in the correct way. But now that everything is like virtual, you have like the money doesn't really, you don't feel it, like you said. So yeah, my 8 years old asked me, what does it mean, crypto?
Okay. That was fun to answer.
Yeah. What does it mean? Teach me. And okay, now we need to explain at 8 years old, what does it mean? Money that is not really something that he can see or touch or feel, and that's the thing, that they are curious when they are young. Now they are curious because this is our work, and we need to adjust to this.
Sure.
So yeah, we start with the teens, but I think that in a few years we will need to start way earlier.
Absolutely, and I'm totally game for that. I'm absolutely. And that's one thing that surprised me, to be honest with you. I've been very surprised to hear the feedback from you and the team and the parents so far around the excitement around this one, and just like, wow, this is what we want, this is what we need. A lot of the teens, even when we had the drop in, they have business ideas. And, it seems like they almost just want someone to say, you know what, you're important. I should listen to you, right? They just want someone to be there to say, what are you thinking? What idea do you have? Right? Just to hear them, for them to feel like I'm an equal, I'm a person, right? And to have that confidence of someone else, trying to provide them with some guidance and some real world experience of how did I navigate, right? So to me too, this would have been incredibly helpful. So I'm really grateful that now we have this opportunity to return this knowledge and this wisdom that we've had as entrepreneurs and people who have to deal with money. That I think it's really special that
Very that I have some very good feedback about the dropping that we had.
Yeah.
And the teens are very excited about it, even more than the parents. I thought that the parents will push them into it because the topics are so important.
Yeah.
Every one of them is super important. We have 4 different topics, 4 different retreats, and each one is like super important. And I'm sure that it will come more from the parents. No, what surprised me is that after the teens that know you in the drop-in came from them.
Yeah, it's special.
And they want to be part of it. They're excited about it.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And I know we were all talking, and I know even amongst the parents, there's laughter about to get teens excited about anything. Usually they just want to stay in their bed or play some video games, but to have them be excited to leave home and come to a different space and learn and interact, like that, I think, is already proof that this space really does something different. Yes. I think that's tremendous. And, so that's one of the retreats that we have. Right? Another one is the Teen Influencer Vibes one. So I'm curious from you, what makes you excited about that one being offered for the team today?
It's funny because I'm not I'm not the person to ask about social media and stuff like that, because I'm not there. Like, I'm there only because of the business.
Gotcha.
I'm not the one that will follow influencers and stuff like that. But I know that those days the kids are all into it, and the teenagers, they are all into it. And they actually, a lot of them wants to be influencers themselves. So I know that this topic is something that is super important for this generation. Yeah. Like, I'm from another generation. For me, it's let me talk with someone, like face to face, and not like through the camera. But I know from my friends that their kids, like their teenagers, they are all into it. They are following those influencers, and they want to be themselves. They want to be influencer, and that's what they wish for. And now they need to get the right tools and to understand what does it mean. Because sometimes it looks like shiny and nice when you look at it like that, but you don't really understand what does it mean. So to want to be someone, or to want to be like someone else, you first need to understand really what does it mean? What does it will the thing that you will need to do or to sacrifice sometimes in order to be there. So I'm happy that this is also one of the topics because it is very important.
Yeah.
And to do this topic without screens, that's amazing.
I think yeah, and I agree. I think it's going to be great. And this one is yes, it does empower them with the knowledge of how do you maybe with your angles and your videos and how do you create some content and things like that. We are definitely doing that, right? And what I'm really excited about to really bring it full circle is empowering these teams with the knowledge of how you actually operate safely on social media, right? Because like whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of kids nowadays are raised by screens, right? That is their pacifier. That's their thing. They need to go to sleep. The thing they need to wake up. The reward for any little thing that if I imagine our generation, we wouldn't get rewarded for the amount of things that are rewarded now, say with the screen. So this is about navigating it in a healthy way, understanding how you actually have those boundaries with your social media, understanding the different safety mechanisms that exist in it, but also understanding the different trends that happen in social media so that not only the teens, but perhaps this knowledge can then be shared with parents around, okay, these seem to be some of the ways that people are falling into these pitfalls of, whether dangerous situations or doom scroll, right? Just waste a whole bunch of time on social media where we're not able to really understand, is this real or is this AI generated, right? Just understanding some of the know-how because as much as we might be the adults nowadays, it's not that we have the expert wisdom of how to guide these kids because we didn't grow up in that, for example. Many parents haven't, right? So I think it's really important that we're making time and space for them to not only follow what the program is like, but also to ask their questions. Because chances are they've had some different online interactions and things like that, and they might not have thought anything of it. Right? But we need to really make sure that we're not just leaving them to figure that out for themselves, because that's when we might end up in some of these compromised situations.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So so we have that one, and then I know that we also have our Zen retreat, right? So tell me about that one. I know you yourself really do invest into your self-care and your personal time. So let me know this one. How does this one really resonate?
First, I think that it's so important to give time for yourself and to invest in yourself in your well-being. And I'm trying, like myself, I'm trying to take care of myself with doing Pilates, yoga, and this is the time that I give to myself, and it's important. Yes. So this place that we are living in, it's exactly that. It's like to take care of yourself and to be in the Pura Vida vibe, and you can see here a lot of people are all about yoga and retreats and stuff like that. So to start like young, because I didn't start when I was young. Now I start working out like in my adult life, right? To start when you are young, to understand what does it mean to take care of yourself. That's something that is important. And taking care of yourself, it doesn't mean only doing yoga. Okay, it's part of it. But to give those skills to teenagers to really understand what does it mean. Okay, you can create your business and you can be an influencer and you can do a lot of things. But stop and remember first your mental well-being by taking care of yourself. Those are skills that sometimes, well, not sometimes, we don't learn them on the way.
Right.
We most of the time we learn it ourselves when we are already, sometimes it's too late, or sometimes we just as adult, most of us learn those stuff as adult. Okay, wow, it's too much. And when you learn those things, when you get so stressed and you start to feel pain from the stress, or you start to be sick from stress, so then you remind yourself, oh, I need to stop and I need to take care of myself. So instead of that, doing it the opposite way. Learn how to take care of yourself and then combine it with everything else that you want to do.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important, and it's so true, right? Oftentimes we learn some of these things that we know it's part of what we need to do, right? But sometimes things get busy, and then it slips in priority, and then we only learn them as a response to us having a pain or something that might be at a point where we can only do so much. It's more about management versus not even having to deal with that kind of challenge. So, in this one, we're really talking about how they connect with their body, especially, right? Tapping into those things. Like, I'm sure I only realized this in my 30s. I don't breathe regularly. I don't intentionally take in breath with any kind of pace. And when I start to unpack that and talk to professionals and all that kind of stuff, hey, there's different things that are locked in. There's different things that you need to resolve and whatnot. So had I understood that a little bit earlier, I would have been more proactive about learning some of these tools, unpacking some of those things, healing from some of those things. So I really see this as a very big empowerment toolkit. It's almost like the stuff that you don't learn in school, right? That's essentially what it is. This is the stuff for life, right? Like the real life skill. So tapping into understanding when your nervous system isn't perhaps regulated, the mindfulness-based activities that you can really recenter with yourself, understanding maybe how movement can really impact your body positively, and the breathing, and all of these different things, right? Even understanding the brain, right? The role and function of the brain and the different parts of the brain. When I've seen Suki do this so many times with the kids that she's taught in Canada, is when you actually have the brain, we actually have a model of the brain, and we show them the different parts. We help them to understand this part is responsible for this type of function, and this is how long it usually takes to develop. So they can really understand maybe some of those times when they get stuck in certain thoughts, why it might have needed, right? We're really helping them to get to the roots of some of the things that they might be experiencing. So by the time they get out there and the stakes are bigger, they're adults, all those kind of things, it's more of a habit, right? Versus just hopefully they remember, right? It's just something that they do. So, I'm super excited for them to experience that one. And, I think we're going to be breaking a lot of cycles, for the teens who come in there. I think that's really going to be steering things in a really good direction. Yes. Yeah. And, we have our final one, which is like the teen vibe, right? And I know that one, we're a little more free flow. It's a little bit of a combination of things that we've done and then adding some new pieces in there. But, kids are also going to have the opportunity to do things like cooking, right? Understanding how you use these tools and some nutrition things. And, we've had some of the teams have already said, hey, can we do like some fitness stuff? Like, can we work out together and understand the muscles and stuff like that? So wonderful. We're going to bring in some gym equipment. We're going to do that together. They're going to get that knowledge, right? So it's really that opportunity for them to really come with their questions and really make it their own. That's been the invitation that we shared with them through the drop-in as well. If you guys have additional ideas to what we've shared here, tell us. We want to make this happen for you. We want you to be excited in the morning to come here. We want you to be the ones waking your parents up to get you here, right? Not the other way around. So let us know what it is you want to do. And I think that's super important for them to have active involvement in saying what's going to be fun for them. I love it. I love the kids, and you ask them and they are part of it. And it's so important, not just to tell them, okay, this is what we're going to do today. Let them be a part of it and choose what are the targets. So, as we sort of wrap up our episode for today, what I wanted to ask you is, what is some of the feedback that you've heard from parents so far about creativity? It doesn't have to be a specific program per se. You can let us know which program, sure. But what's the feedback that you've heard from them that's really helped you to know we're delivering on what we really wanted to give to this community and to all the people? Okay. So I get to hear like lots of different feedback, and every time, like I told you, like I feel that I'm in the right place. It's stories about kids that are able to express their emotions through art. Kids that wake up excited in the morning, excited to come here. They know that they are coming here, that they're so excited about it. It's things that happen to us in our camps usually. And it happens also for classes. I know some of the classes that we give here, parents tells me that the kids doesn't want to miss those classes for anything else. So if it's the same day that the class that they have the class here,
and they have something very important, they will, they will just give up the other thing because they don't want to miss classes here. So when you hear those kind of things, you know that you are doing something good, you are doing something right, and it keeps reminding me that the right place, and I'm doing something that it was my dream. It was my dream to create a place, to create a space like that, a space that everyone feels safe and connect with each other and like being here.
I love that. Thank you. So I want to turn it over to you just to share with parents or perhaps the teens that are watching this. Any final things around the Creativo space, right? The upcoming retreat, even looking ahead to 2026. What people might want to get excited about that you're open to sharing at the moment. That way they can understand how to connect with the space, maybe connect more with you and the team, and how they can really show their support and engage with everything that Creativo is moving to into the future.
Okay, so we have a lot of big plans for 2026. A lot of different projects that we are starting now. We are into hosting more fundraising events, charity events, um, uh, doing different culture events, like the gallery evening that we had. So we had so many feedbacks from people that want to see stuff like that more. So yeah, we are going to do more things like that. We are going to invest more on teams. So that's our goal now for 2026 to create more things like classes, workshops, a space for teams to come and connect and learn. And this is something that we really want to put our focus on. And to focus also more on giving back to the community by sponsoring kids from the local community to be part of these amazing things that we are doing here.
Love that. Thank you. And what is the best way for people to connect? Whether that's with a website or social media, when they want to register for classes, like all of that. What's the best way for them to do that?
The best way will be the website, because on the website we have all the info there with the registration forms and everything there. And of course, everyone can also contact us through WhatsApp if they have more questions. So we are always here to answer anything. We also have the social media, the Instagram and the Facebook that we can see. They can see also some videos and things that happen here like daily. They can see it there. But for info and for sign up for different things to see our future events, the website will be the best place to do that.
Okay. And for people who might be interested in perhaps contributing to the space, whether as a teacher, instructor, volunteer, maybe, what's the best way for them to connect with you, maybe with their ideas and thoughts like that?
Oh, that's a very good question, because we do that all the time. Like we connect with people and about teaching new things here, and also volunteers. So we do have like a list of volunteers that we are working with that sometimes wants to do some things for the community. The best way will be to contact us directly, WhatsApp, and then they can come here to hear more about what we do here. And we are always open for new ideas, for new things. We want to offer a lot of different things, so we are always open for that. If it's around art, craft, music, culture, anything that can bring a value to different ages, because we are dealing with all different ages. So we are always happy to hear different ideas and to welcome them here.
Thank you. I mean, that I've seen that, and I definitely do feel that. I feel this big hub of collaboration. I don't feel a spirit of competition in the way that you operate this space and, the standards and values that the people who work here have. I really do feel that it's very much an open door. Come in and what would you like to contribute to what it is we're all co-creating? It doesn't feel like this is Creativo's project and you're just to help. It's everyone together. Really appreciate that about how you do things. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who's tuned in today for us to have our chat around the Creativo space and for you to learn more about Roset. This is going to be a very special offering, the things that Suki and I are offering out here for the teens during December and into January, for them to have 4 different weeks of teen retreat experiences. So if you are curious, by all means, do get in touch. You can leave it in the comments. You can get in touch over the website or perhaps the Instagram. And, just let us know what you liked and what you loved about this conversation so that feedback can be used for future episodes and future program development. Right, so until next time, I'm your host, Josh Tripal, and I thank you for joining us on the Umana Yana podcast. Thank you, everyone.